Good day and welcome once again to Moments with Dr. Steve. I'm Dr. Steve Bonenberger, and my life has been fairly consistent over the last 40 years and can be characterized by the fact that I am first and foremost a writer. I'm a creator of stories. I tell tales. Tales come to me, and I take the discipline and time to sit and record them to the best of my ability. If you want to know how I do the recording of tales and how I receive them, you have to understand what ether is. And we don't have, this is not a session to talk about this. Today, we're going to talk about Through Gates of Fire, Volume 1, Wingless Flight. This is the very first novel I ever wrote, published it all over 30 years ago, still sells through, still a great story. And in our Moments with Dr. Steve time, every Thursday in my world, I don't know where your world is, we come to the place where we work through Gates of Fire. Now, today we're going to talk about living out in real time the daily code. In Through Gates of Fire, Volume 1, Wingless Flight, I established the daily code. And it is this internal personal GPS, a personal guidance system, if you will. And Flash Bastion, who is the unlikely hero of the tale. If you know me, I like unlikely heroes that have to be tested and have to develop, spiritual personal mettle. And then God takes them to a mission they never thought or dreamed or imagined either possible or that they would be a fit for. So as a young lad, Flash Bastion, during his most vulnerable and impressionable moments, he understands the daily code because it enters his life through his adoptive father, Tommy. And the daily code, as I said, is this kind of internal personal GPS. It's a personal guidance system, if you will. Now, the daily code, I wrote it almost 30 years ago, and you can find it. It is memorialized, let's say it like that, in Through Gates of Fire, Volume 1, Wingless Flight. Go to saintallegiance.org, saintallegiance.org, and for a small contribution, pick up a copy and join the conversation. Now, I wrote this almost 30 years ago, and yet it still contains such deep veins of precious personal ore. It remains, meaning the daily code, the one personal guidance set of ideas that I still refer to often. There were days, and yet not so much any longer, when I worked hard to implement each of the 7 spokes of the daily code into my internal emotional presence. But now I work hard to do one of these every day. My evolution of thought and my evolution as a human is that if I can do one of these, maybe a few of them a day, well, then these are mile markers for me. And the first one is begin with prayer. You start the day by looking to God, and you form up this thing I call the life of contrition, and you become a seeker of contrition. Contrition is a big word, and it really means this. Well, we'll talk about it more in just a few minutes, but it is this idea that you humble yourself, that you lessen yourself, that you lessen the idea that you are all that and then some. The life of submission and personal surrender to higher and greater good is what you develop as a primary compass heading in your life. It is a life wherein you admit that you simply must lean into something that exceeds and excels your own capacity to think, pray, do, examine, perform. That's what you seek. You begin with prayer. Now, even if you're an irreligious person, I recommend that you learn how to meditate and you learn how to lean into this other side of life because it is real. The second spoke is give away something of value. Give away something of value. And it means that as the new days dawn, you look, and intentionally so, to bestow and endow with the look of empowerment. I'm going to say that again. As you give away something of value, it means that as the new days dawn, you look, and intentionally so, to bestow and endow with the look of empowerment some gift upon and to some other worthy person. You gift value, you help, you bestow esteem. It is always with the look to bring empowerment to the recipient, not to you. That's the power of the gift. The gift, if it comes with strings attached, that's not empowerment. That's personal gain for you. But if you give, or as you give, with the look to empower the recipient, that's magic. The third spoke is active listening. You look, and again, this is with intentionality. We're going to underline and italicize that word, to grant others the capacity to speak. And you give them the gift of absorbing their words and emotions without the gaffe of interruption or interpretation. I'm going to say that again. Active listening is you look to grant others the capacity to speak, and you absorb their words and emotions without the gaffe of interruption or interpretation. Your intent is to simply be present and to be offering the presence of welcome. Exercise vigorously. Your life takes on the mantle of hard work and physical exertion. You realize that life simply must include sweat and toil and physical effort. You awaken your senses by and through the process of pushing your own physical limit. Be a propeller and not a windsock. Here we speak into maximum effort. The Daily Code presses us into action. Life is much more than theory. There simply must be effort, focused and determined effort, and we must call ourselves daily to full and often excessive effort for the purpose of seeing our dreams come to full and vibrant life. Speak with plain clarity. Cloudy and contentious speech is what the Daily Code calls us to eliminate and then rid from our lives. Cloudy and contentious speech is what the Daily Code calls us to eliminate and rid from our daily lives. One of the main precursors of human interactivity and human interaction is trusted and reliable and careful and calming speech. On this day, speak with calm precision. Smile often and bring cheer. Smile often and bring cheer, for you know not the pain and suffering that others carry. For you know not the pain and suffering that others carry. Such a palette of force we each are. Such agents of care we each are. Such calming and soothing and curative agencies we each retain and contain the capacity to bring ourselves into other people's worlds. On this day, we ask you to see humans as broken. For you know not the pain that others carry. The Daily Code is ensconced and memorialized in Through Gates of Fire, Volume 1, Wingless Flight. Head over to saintalegius.org, drop us a note. We love hearing of the expansions of hope, and pick up a copy of this great work of literature and join the conversation. Human-to-human interactivity is based upon the intensity of and understanding of, and then living out and demonstration of the Daily Code. We are building a GCC, a global cultural conversation. Figure out ways to insert each of these elements of the Daily Code into the human elements of your daily life. Till next time, this is Moments with Dr. Steve. Travel far